Keir Starmer's tenure as a leader has sparked a firestorm of criticism that cannot be ignored any longer. He's become a polarizing figure in British politics, often accused of being a puppet to a narrative crafted by others, devoid of any independent thinking. This perception of him has led to some outrageous claims, including derogatory suggestions about his mental health, which serve only to distract from the substantive issues at hand. Critics allege he is not just a misguided leader but a covert communist, intent on creating civil unrest to push forward a hidden agenda. These accusations claim his policies are designed to silence dissent and specifically target opposition among white British citizens. But the reality is far more complex and troubling. Recent events have pushed the clamour for Starmer's resignation to a fever pitch, with many asserting that his leadership has inflicted more damage than progress on the country. The public's disillusionment is palpable, with even the Prime Minister appearing increasingly isolated in his endorsement of Starmer's rhetoric. The situation reached a boiling point during a live television segment when Chris Cope exposed critical flaws in the government's handling of the Irish bill. This revelation, teamed with Starmer's contentious approach to free speech, has ignited a firestorm within both political and public spheres, raising serious questions about the future of democracy under his leadership. A particularly alarming trend has emerged under Starmer's regime: the suppression of free speech. An illustrative example is the disturbing incident involving journalist Alison Pearson, who was confronted by police on Armistice Day over a year-old social media post that deviated from the government's narrative. Such actions, critics argue, reveal an authoritarian streak within the Labour government that threatens the very essence of democratic discourse. Journalists, writers, and ordinary citizens now live in fear of punitive measures for daring to voice dissenting opinions. This atmosphere of intimidation not only undermines free speech but also reveals how far the government is willing to go to maintain control. The politicization of law enforcement under Labour's leadership since July 2024 has raised alarms about a double standard in the justice system. Peaceful protesters and independent voices face draconian repercussions while violent offenders, like those involved in recent assaults on police officers at Manchester Airport, often escape unscathed. This selective enforcement erodes public trust and raises serious questions about the integrity of our justice system. Under the guise of progressive governance, Starmer and Home Secretary Yvette Cooper have fostered an environment that seems more focused on policing thoughts than addressing pressing societal issues. The narrative around free speech has twisted into a chilling reality where the state appears more concerned with prosecuting thought crimes than protecting citizens from genuine threats. The Labour government's priorities seem entirely misplaced. The justice system increasingly favours punishing harmless social media expressions while real criminals evade accountability. This blatant imbalance not only stifles healthy discourse but also highlights Labour's true agenda: a concerted effort to suppress dissent and mould Britain into an echo chamber where only approved ideologies are tolerated. While Labour touts policy successes, such as raising the minimum wage, these claims are overshadowed by rampant public dissatisfaction. Citizens are feeling the weight of growing hospital waiting lists and mounting economic pressures, and Labour's promises of a brighter future ring hollow. The ethical lapses in Starmer's leadership only exacerbate the situation. His recent acceptance of over £6,000 in gifts, including concert tickets and designer clothing, has fueled accusations of hypocrisy and a lack of accountability. This incident has further tarnished his reputation and that of the party he represents. Britain deserves far better than this erosion of free speech and the rise of political policing that threatens its democratic foundation. The actions of Starmer and his administration underscore the urgent need for a government that truly values open dialogue, respects diverse opinions, and prioritizes genuine justice over political maneuvering. As public discontent continues to mount, it becomes increasingly essential to champion the core values of free thought and open debate. The aggressive tactics employed by the current Labour leadership must be met with robust opposition. If we remain passive, these fundamental freedoms risk becoming relics of a bygone era, lost amid a chilling wave of authoritarianism that seeks to silence the very voices that make our democracy vibrant. The time to act is now. The future of free speech in Britain hangs in the balance.